yeah, back in 2012 we had a bit of a health scare, and through that recovery process towards the end of that year, I picked up the guitar and started writing songs, which was pretty interesting. And this song I wrote for my wife as a more or less as a thank you. And I've never played it live, but we recorded it anyway. It was called White Coats and Corridors. Soon after, I really wanted to record an EP, maybe 4 or 5 songs. So made some phone calls and so on and so forth, and got it all happening, and that culminated in the EP Human, which was released in September of last year. And there's 2 cracking songs on that. The first one is Head On Home, which is a favourite of mine. The other one off Human that I really love is Looking Forward to Yesterday. Also had Alan Lester, an old friend of mine from back in the 80s, who played in the same band as Vinny and I. Some of you might remember a band called Rick Vinny and the Vigilantes, which was a blues band back in the 80s around Perth. And so I rang Alan. He plays great saxophone and harmonica, and he joined us on the EP and played some ripping stuff. Beautiful solo at the end of Looking Forward to Yesterday.
But you left before the tears gave you away.
And since the EP, I've just continued to write, and so it's gone. Stuff like Who Will Turn the Light On, which is a story about some people that I've met. Some of it's factual and some of it's not.
And he's not disposed to backing down. Doesn't matter who may come to town. Methodically she'll go about her.
And then more recently I've started to tour with some different feels and different tunings on guitars and so on and so forth, and one of those that came out of that was a song called Life's a Luxury.
Life's no trouble in the bubble, plenty of cash avoids the trouble.
There's no denying a lot of my stuff there's a very definite country influence and a very definite folk influence. Can't be avoided when you're writing stories, I suppose.
He sleeps beside the back door on the horse's casket blanket, now his own. The cold, it won't disturb him. He's free to come and go, he likes to roam.
I'm not frightened to write and touch on, I suppose, touchy subjects. I'm not a big fan of, I just can't handle racial intolerance, bigotry. It just irks me big time. So I tend to pour a lot of that stuff out, get a lot of that emotion out through the music, and I woke up grumpy one morning with a whole bunch of ideas in my head. No one particular thing annoyed me more than another, but I was just grumpy. It was just one of those days where I was grumpy, and I wrote a song, and it just got all those grumpy thoughts out in a musical sense, and that song is A Diary of a Nation.
Leather-clad mystics bleed psychosomatics. Princes with demons still hide in the attic. Their life is worth more than your life will ever be. Discarded remains left to unwanted scavengers. Dressed up as clerics, they drift through the stratosphere. Look through the looking glass, seeking you'll have it.
Like I said, I like to tell a story, and one of the first songs that I wrote, which was also about tolerance and intolerance, was a song called Rise.
Sits alone by the window with a coffee in her hand. Sleeve tattoo with things to do and people running on the strand. What she reads is no different to the old guy at the bar. But she sees her world through swollen eyes, and she carries ugly scars of times gone by.
Back in the early 1990s, my family was living in Narrogin, and raising kids in the country was fantastic. Narrogin's a town about 200 kilometres southeast of Perth, West Australia, and a fantastic place to raise kids. And it was just a fantastic town, and I really enjoyed those 5 or 6 years that I had down there. That country living really gets into your blood and into your soul, and through that experience I penned a song called The Earth is Blood.
Arrive late afternoon to see long shadows on the ground, rust-stained walls from watering like in any rural town. Ring-lock fences disappear, the street signs show the way. There's a bushy with a dusty hat on.
Meanwhile, I'm focusing on my solo career and doing some duets, and which led me to hooking up with a fellow by the name of Erik Kowarski, who's a beautiful fiddle player. Plays fiddle in the Mucky Duck Bush Band, and has other projects and ventures that he's always involved in. And he's just a wonderful player, and really grasped what I was trying to do with my songs, and and we ended up coming up with this one, which was Colour of the Sun.
Hide the ember of the wasteland. Wind-blown fields hold the seed to feed a nation. What's the color of the sun when it's near the ground? Does it rain colored jewels when it's tumbling down? Long days, reds play. Dust-covered cowboy, but the black man has the patience. Mango trees grow, but the heat decides the paycheck. What's the color of the sun when it's near the ground? Does it rain colored jewels when it's tumbling down? Are there places that you go when you're far away? Would you show me where you go on those dreamy days? Days, reds play. Dust-covered cowboy, but the black man has the patience. Mango trees grow, but the heat decides the paycheck. What's the color of the sun when it's near the ground? Does it rain colored jewels when it's tumbling down? Are there places that you go when you're far away? Would you show me where you go on those dreamy days? Are there places that you go when you're far away? Would you show me where you go on those dreamy days?
So no doubt the writing is going to continue. I get a lot of enjoyment out of the writing. It's just a part of music that I've stumbled on, I suppose. After all these years, I was never involved in writing as a youngster, and it's taken me all the way through my life to really get a handle on it, and I absolutely love it. So I don't see that's going to change. But I also really like to perform and play live. And so look, if you get a chance to come and see one of my gigs, please come and say hi. I'd love to shoot the breeze with you.
Seems to me I might have found what I was looking for. A room without a view, I didn't even have it all. People come, people go, what's the go? I shouldn't have woken up. Before I knew it, I was living in Subiaco. No money to pay the rent, she must have thought I was local.